transcends time and space, bringing time and space into being at the moment of creation. He is not physical or material.
I'm sorry, but if God is not physical or material in some kind of way, then how can he interact with our physical and material universe? If he's not physical or material, how can you say that he exists in reality? He's just blatantly stating these things, which, I mean, it's kind of what apologists like to do. They don't like to really support their conclusions with real evidence that actually supports their conclusions. Saying that God created time and space, it's just sitting there arbitrarily saying that God created them. Why is it that reality couldn't, like as a natural property of reality, when a universe pops into existence, time and space pops into existence with that reality? As far as, that universe, not that reality, but that universe goes, time and space exists within that universe. Like already it seems like he's just arbitrarily putting God in there when God doesn't need to be there. But another good question here to ask is, what does it mean to exist outside of space-time? Like, what does it mean to exist prior to time existing? Is there a way to even measure that? Like, what does that even fucking mean? Eternal is supposed to indicate that something has just always existed for all time. But if there's no time around, can you really say that eternal property actually exists? How can you say that God is eternal when there's nothing to measure that eternalness, that quality of being eternal? It's just that God existed, and at some point he was like, oh shit, I forgot to make the universe. You know, I don't understand that.
Rather, he's an infinite, uncreated mind with unlimited power.
You're a prisoner? It's all part and parcel of the whole genie gig.
Phenomenal cosmic powers!
Itty bitty living space.
Is he really all that unlimited, like in his power? Like, if memory serves in the Bible, iron chariots shut his ass down, so it doesn't seem unlimited. Certain medications can prevent God from, like, communicating with you or some shit. If God has unlimited power, then it would make sense that God could definitely stop those things that we all agree are just objectively horrible and shouldn't happen. Like, his priests raping children. I would think that God, if he was unlimited in his power, he could definitely, at least figure out a way to not violate free will, as well as stop people from raping. Just as simple in the 10 Commandments, like number 4, don't rape kids. Like, I feel like unequivocally putting that in there might have been a good idea rather than stroking his own dick for 4, commandments. We got a few super chats to get to. Jester says, what gender is that behind the mind symbol? Every gender, maybe? Like, I don't know. It's let's see, I can't remember which one is the arrow. Is that man? Yeah, male sign. Right, because dick, right? So it's a guy with 4 dicks. It's a genetic problem. That's the 4-dicked guy, which I guess maybe that might be God. No, God's only got 3 dicks: Holy Spirit dick, God dick, and Jesus dick.
But while God is infinite, he's also personal. He has mind, emotions, will, and moral agency, all the qualities essential to personhood.
Okay, how do you know the emotion of God? I mean, honestly, if you look in the Old Testament, like, God is a person, if he's a person at all. He's a person of few emotions, mainly drunken rage, and then it's not really happiness. He's placated, like, I guess peaceful, maybe? I don't know. He's just sort of, he's good with the situation or whatever. He's neutral, it seems like. Like, I don't really remember God being all that, like, happy or whatever. He's either a pissed off drunk, or he's just glad things are going his way. Sure. Moral agency. God has shitty moral agency. Like, he's got a shitty sense of morality. I mean, if you look at Numbers 31, that's the one I always like to go to. Numbers 31, where he has Moses go in and kill small children, right? And then the apologist response to that is that God had a good reason for it, because the Midianites were either sacrificing children for whatever reason. God wanted everybody except the virgin girls killed, which would include small babies, other small children, and any woman that's touched it. It's kind of hard for you to say that that was a good action for whatever reason. So his moral agency is just shit. And then a mind? Can you really know the mind of a god? Like, obviously, 50 to 75% of God's mind is drunken rage. Okay, that's what God's mind is a good bit of the time if you read the Old Testament. So I other than that, like, I really don't see how you can know what God is thinking, especially with all the contradictions in the Bible.
And he has them to an infinite degree.
Oh, I should have let this finish. What does it fucking mean to have like an emotions or a mind or a will or moral agency to an infinite degree? That sounds like fucking Deepak Chopra shit. Like, I could go to the wisdom of Chopra and get something similar to have your mind be intelligent with emotions, mind, will, moral agency to an infinite degree. Like, I feel like that's something you'd get out of fucking Deepak Chopra right there, because I have no idea what it means to have an infinite amount of emotions. I don't like an infinite number of emotions. Like, there are emotions that we just don't even fucking know about. An infinite amount of will. What does that even fucking, an infinite amount of moral agency? What does that fucking mean? I don't know what any of this fucking means. It's just goddamn word salad.
For example, he is all-knowing. He knows all facts and truths.
Okay, if God knows everything, why is it that he asked, what was it, Abraham? Like, where Sarah was? Because she was in the tent laughing because God said that Sarah will bear a child. She started giggling and God didn't know. Also, in the Garden of Eden, God didn't know where they were. Also, if God knows everything, then he definitely would have known that the main Christian organization for thousands of years, and continues to be one of the main Christian organizations, would spend untold amount of money as well as other resources to systematically violate young children. If he knew that, he could have simply stopped it without affecting people's free will, at least no more affecting it than he already does with his fucking commandments and shit and everything he already says in the Bible, which kind of makes me think it's like, oh, well, he doesn't want to violate people's free will. Then why have fucking laws in the first goddamn place? Why are you going to write an entire fucking book about how people should behave and treat their fellow man if you're, just going to sit there and be like, but y'all got free will to do whatever the fuck you want to. It's not going to be on my shoulders if y'all fuck up and I got to get drunk on some Jameson and then beat your ass with that fucking four-dicked motherfucker. I think laying down very specific laws for things that would definitely be like violations of God's will or his moral agency or anything like that, I feel like that's no more violating the free will of people than he already affects it. So in the 10 Commandments, God strokes his own dick for 4 commandments. And he doesn't take any amount of time whatsoever to say, hey, women are equal, which he actually says women aren't equal later on in the commandments. But women are equal, don't rape kids, also slavery's bad. Of course, later on in the Bible, he's totally fine with slavery, so he wouldn't put that there. But my point is that these are easily identifiable things that if God was all-knowing and he did not like, then he could have affected the Israelites' behavior just as much as he affects their other behavior, as well as the behavior of many Christians to come. So it seems weird to me that you would say that he's all-knowing when he obviously fucking isn't.